Hey, how's it going, friends? I'm Darkoburi, the collector. And for today's video, we're going to have this exclusive All Might figure by Tsume. For today's episode, we're featuring this work of art, All Might United States of Smash by Tsume. Remember, these are high-quality statues, and here we have the company's logo. As you can see, it's a huge box, but for example, we've had figures from Prime 1 Studio that are way bigger than this box. This is how they arrived to me. Over here it says My Hero Academia. Obviously, there's going to be another box inside, since that's the actual Tsume box for the figure. So, I'm going to spare you all that and we'll move on to analyzing the next box. I just wanted to show off how they arrived to me. Sometimes they have a few dents, but it's no big deal. Let's hope the box inside doesn't have too many bumps. Why? Because I want to keep it simply because it's the #1 hero, All Might. Once we've taken out the box that was inside, as you can see, it's completely smooth, no dents at all, and honestly, the colors are amazing. Here we have a dominant blue color with yellow and red stripes, and again blue on this side. We see our character, All Might, who already looks a bit worn out. This is from his last fight where his power fades away. And here we have the one who has the power to steal everyone's power. Here we have All Might with the United States of Smash power, which is the last move he uses. Obviously, in the series he continues training Midoriya, or Deku, which is his hero name, and right now the latest season is streaming on Crunchyroll. I won't give you any spoilers about that, don't worry. I am following it episode by episode, every week now. On this side we have the university's motto, from UA Academy, plus Ultra. We see a slightly different Tsume art logo. Here you can check out previous videos where we've done quite a few, really a lot of figures here, Tsume art unboxings. So honestly, it's incredible. And the biggest spoiler of the figure is going to be on this side. This is the representation of the final blow that All Might delivers to his enemy, and with which he ends up winning that battle. If you look, it's super cool. Here we have the face now with a slightly more reddish color. Over here, we're going to see that there are 1,600 pieces made for the whole world. And you're going to see one of them here on the Darkoburi channel. Once I've already taken out the styrofoam box, the first thing we're going to see inside is, obviously, our base. Here we have the base where it tells us the name of the figure. We already know, it's All Might with his United States of Smash. I didn't get the number on the bottom, but you already know that our friends at Tsume Art always send us our certificate. Right now, we're going to do a close-up so you can see it. It's piece number 57 out of 1,600. We can see it right here in this part. We have our seal, the authenticity logo showing it's from Tsume Art, and the signature of Tsume's founder. Here you can see the company's logo, and the paper has a textured finish. Honestly, it's super cool. Our certificate came in a little envelope, and it also said it was piece number 57, just like we saw on the outside of the box. Let's set our All Might certificate over here. Let's start taking out all the pieces. I don't think there are that many. Obviously, we're going to get our All Might, our One for All, our All for One, and some accessory pieces for our figure. I've already taken out everything that was inside the box. Here's what you'll find. Over here we have some tiny pieces from the Power Stealer. If you look closely, all the pieces are magnetized, which is the cool part from our friends at Tsume Art. What I love most about them is that the piece comes completely intact. As we saw in the unboxing, which you can find here on my channel for first 4 figures, Alphonse Elric arrived broken for me in this part. This piece arrived whole, without a single scratch, and honestly, the colors are just amazing. The only thing is that here it smelled a bit more like paint, but honestly, it's no big deal. You just let the figure air out for a while, and that takes care of everything. The first thing we're going to place on our base is this, the sign that shows this is a My Hero Academia piece. Here we have the magnetized opening, you just set it in place, and then here we have our hero, All Might. Honestly, the fight scene is just awesome. Here we have the person who is his arch nemesis, which is All for One. He wanted all the powers for himself, and here we have One for All, better known as the hero All Might, the #1 hero. Let's go ahead and put the head on here. If you notice, he's already a bit deformed. He's in his emaciated form, and with his last breath, he throws out the final spark of his power to defeat him. The fight is brutal. He had already lost his arm. It was completely broken, but he puts all his intensity back into it and manages to defeat him. Let's see how the epic scene ends, which honestly is this part with his fist. It's going to be, let's show it so you can see. It's going to be stuck right into the face. He starts off in a tuxedo. Remember that he starts using a ton of powers here. He puts so much muscle into it, even some propulsion, and if you notice, here he also has the sleeve of his arm all torn up, because he did pretty much the same thing with this arm. He couldn't fully develop it because that's when All Might lands the blow, the finishing blow, defeats him with the United States of Smash, and ends it all with a huge tornado over the battlefield, and that's where everything comes to a close. Here we have this part that's going to go, where? On the back of our character. Since I don't want any pieces to fall off, I'm going to assemble him quickly first, then we'll put our All Might in place, and I'll show you the fully assembled figure. Now that we have the figure completely assembled, let's describe it. The first thing we saw was the base, and here is the My Hero Academia logo. Let's remember that on the bottom of the base, we have all the details about our figure, and we also have the scene that's been destroyed by the fight All Might had with his arch-nemesis. Here is the final part. If you look, this is where he's delivering the punch, but let's talk about All Might first. Here, our hero's head can be removed. The face, as you can see, his eye is now completely black and he's stained with blood. Remember that he always had short hair, golden in color, blonde, with these two bangs that stuck out from the top of his hair. Now, the part that is a bit more pointed. In his hero form, he had a completely square jaw, huge cheekbones, and here we see a more rectangular face. The jaw is gone, he looks haggard, he's completely wounded. We'll notice that in the figure, his clothes look baggy, because remember that in his hero form, All Might is completely bulked up, and here he deflated halfway through the battle. The news crews are there in a helicopter, and he says to him, over here he says, "Let everyone see you now that you're destroyed." Endeavor shows up, and both All Might and Endeavor, we've already done quite a few unboxings of them, and he says, "What is that back?" And he says, "I've been chasing after you, I want to be the #1 hero, I've been right behind you. What is that worn out form?" He just turns to look at him, and All Might gets fired up because there's a lady stuck in the middle of a building who says, "You know what? All Might, save us." And she says, "You know what? Yes, I am Justice, I am #1, I will fight for all of you." And All Might puffs up again, but only in parts. Let's remember that with this arm, which is already completely useless, he came in and landed a punch with his left, a left hook, and then it deflates, which is when our archenemy inflates his other arm with the same amount of power, and All Might surprises him and says, "You know what? I didn't hit you that hard, it didn't hurt, because I didn't put my back into it." Look at how he puffed up the muscles in his back, how he inflated his arm, and ends up delivering the United States of Smash to our archenemy. No one else has the blue, red, and yellow colors of All Might. Check out his legs, both of them, he powered them up too. His entire hero costume is already wrecked from the fight. Here we can see the sleeve piece is completely destroyed. The arms, let's do a close-up here on the hand. It has the marks from the battle. Over here, we also have part of the costume that looks completely intact. There were no issues on the lower part. And this arm was also the one that got broken. When he's fighting fist to fist, his arm gets broken, then he grabs the power of One for All again, it completely heals, and if you notice, it's purple. Now it just has some battle scars left. Why is that? So he can go on to defeat our archenemy. Since it comes off easily, let's remove All Might so we can also take a closer look at all the details of his hero costume. If you look here, the belt at the front has the symbol that belongs to All Might. On the back, there's also this part that forms a diamond shape, extending all the way back like wings, and here we have a face that looks like an eagle. The belt continues all the way to the back, and all the colors blend together like this, yellow with blue and white. So, here we have our hero, half deflated on this side, half inflated on this side, and the punch he's about to land right here on our archenemy. I'm going to remove him to see what happened with this one. All for One, their power is to steal other people's abilities and keep them for themselves. By the time he was fighting him, remember that he had already inflicted an almost fatal wound on All Might in this part of his body, which is what kept him from fighting as well as before. And he would inflate and deflate. So, when he passes on his One for All power to Deku, that's when he can't keep inflating himself as often because he's already losing the spark of his power. Our enemy arrives, fully suited up. Remember, he's wearing a mask that looks industrial, like a respirator. They ask him why. In this fight, they don't tell you why he's wearing it. And he says, "You know what, I was just throwing little powers at you here and there," but then his arm starts growing in such a beastly way. Check out how it turned out. There are some parts here that were attached to our figure. Over here, there are other spikes that also came out of the shoulder. We put all of them on, and the mask, if you notice, since he's getting hit in the face, the mask went flying off. Let's take a look at it from below. Same here, we're going to have a completely intact suit. We're going to give it a 10 because his little shoes are super shiny. Our anti-hero or our enemy is absolutely spotless. We can see the suit design is spectacular. Let's do a close-up so you can see what's inside here. Check out how our enemy here is all suited up. He came ready for a monumental fight and showed up completely formally dressed. Our hero also arrived with his suit, ready for battle. No one expected it. Over there, he was kidnapped. Deku is working on a plan to rescue Bakugo, who was kidnapped. They get caught up in a fight that's totally out of their control, and that's when the #1 hero shows up. All these attacks he has here make for a monstrous combination. For what? To be able to fight against our hero, All Might. However, the strategy was on our hero's side, on the side of justice, and when the battle ends, he's completely exhausted. And what's the last thing he does? Boom! He raises his right arm, showing the power of justice. Let's put them together. I'm finally going to show you the entire assembled piece of United States of Smash here on the Darkoburi channel. At last, we've assembled the piece as it should be. If you look, the last accessories that come with our figure are these air marks. Remember, he's making a completely fast and surprising attack on our enemy. He comes in, hits him, and drives him straight into the ground. Here we can see that he's bouncing him completely, and all these shapes are air marks. Here it is, our high-quality statue piece from Tsume Art. And if you like this piece, let us know in the comments. Also tell us what you like most about the fight, and which of your heroes is your favorite. Personally, I still stick with All Might in his hero version. Honestly, it's amazing, but what I don't like is his old costume, the first one he uses. Honestly, this hero version of his costume is what I like the most. Which of the Tsume Art pieces that we've showcased here on the channel has been your favorite? Honestly, this is a piece I was looking for. When it came out, honestly, I said, I'll buy it later. It sold out. I didn't know there were going to be so few pieces. I kept searching and searching. Week after week, I would check, I was really sad, then I'd go cry by myself and then come back and look for it again, until finally a reseller came along and said, I'm going to resell it. And I, Darkoburi the Collector, said, I'm going to buy it. And here it is, one of the pieces I wanted so badly. And remember to visit us on all our social media. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on Medium, we're on TikTok, which honestly has been going super well for us on that platform. Head over to the Darkoburi page because there you'll find plenty of really interesting figures that can be delivered right to the comfort of your home. We also have thermoses, mugs, keychains, and Darkoburi collectible items. Also, let us know in the comments if you want us to do the unboxing of any other piece. Honestly, I have some amazing pieces on the way and others that have already arrived, which are also from the Tsume Art brand. Guess which Tsume piece we're going to do next. And maybe I'll give you a special prize for you who are commenting here on the Darkoburi page. And you know, Darkoburi, peace out. Darkoburi.